I'd like to make a document of this.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Tell me about what's going on.
Well, I had a bowel movement,
Okay.
and the aide came in here and was changing my diaper.
Okay.
And while she was putting it on, she jammed it real hard. Well, this isn't the first time this has happened. This happens with quite a number of female aides. They're not aware of the pressure diapers put on testicles.
Okay.
So she jammed it a little tight in there, and I kind of jumped, and I said, "Would you be a little bit more careful?" And she became offended by that.
Okay.
And she said something I have a hearing disability.
Okay. How was this today?
Pardon?
Was this today?
Yeah, this was just before I called you guys.
Okay. So
An hour ago?
About like 4 o'clock.
That could be.
Okay.
I'm not one on time.
Not a problem. All right. So she was putting that on, and it was just a little bit too rough, or just went too high.
Well, she jammed it in there, like I said, which she's not the first one to have done that. Women aides tend to do that.
Okay.
And I explained to her I had testicles and that it hurt. And she'd be a little bit more sensitive to that, and she became offended by that.
Okay.
And she said something, I didn't know what she said, but I repeated myself about testicles being sensitive, and she became upset and walked out of the room. And left me.
Okay.
And well, she came back just 5 minutes ago. She finally came back, only because I've been trying to get her to come back in, and because I've peed my diaper again. I have a urinary infection.
Okay.
And weak bowels. I can have a bowel movement 3 times in 2 hours.
Okay.
So anyway, I called her again, and she wouldn't come. So I've learned if you pull this out, that's kind of like an emergency call that they're supposed to come. So I pulled it out, and she came about a half hour later. She didn't ask, she just put it back in, and I explained to her I peed my bed and I pooped again. And she said, well, I've already changed her diaper. And she didn't even look. She just walked out of the room again and left me in a mess.
Okay.
And well, I think this is neglect, and I think this is abuse.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely write a report on this, stating that I was out here.
I don't hear it well.
I'll write a report, basically stating what you told me today, and you said you wanted to document it, so I'll make sure that I'll get that done for you.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll give you a card with the complaint number on it, in case you want to get a hold of the police report.
Right, I've had issues with that. Now, what threshold does it have to reach to be considered neglect and abuse? When it's in your mind or in the police department's mind that it rises to the occasion of abuse or neglect? How does that come about? Now, I've just given you this information. Do you write this down and you take it back to the police station and you get together and you talk about it? How do you decide, well, yeah, that does rise to abuse? How does that work?
I can check right now. Off the top of my head,
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, so let me just look it up.
Well, basically, in a situation like this, We need to know.
Pardon? I don't. I read
Okay.
lips actually.
Yeah, that's what I took.
In a situation like this, we need to know the name of the exact nurse. And
Oh, it's
if,
the aide. It's the one that's working right now.
okay, and if this has occurred other times to other patients before we're going to submit types of charges for something like this. This would have to have occurred multiple times from other patients and
Really?
yourself. Yes. For something
So-
like this, the district attorney
Abuse,
is not gonna
neglect.
they're not gonna go through with charging something like this unless there was some type of injuries that occurred, or if it's an ongoing
6-6
problem with this aid. If it's an ongoing problem with this aid with other patients, or there was some type of injuries that occurred, or maybe I had like a scar or like a scratch, or like you're bleeding, and we go and talk to her and she tells us that she did it on purpose,
Yeah.
or something like that, because we still have to talk to her
6-6, could I get
and
a
see
plate number?
what happened, and he's going to document her statement in his report
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
So we're still not done with the investigation out here, but for it to get charged, it would have to fall under that criteria that I was just telling you about.
Yeah, I see your point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, this is an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing. If you look into my records, this isn't the first time I've called you guys out here.
Okay.
I'm sure you know of this. I'm getting wiser. Now I have my phone and I have recordings of abuse. So yeah, I can prove this isn't the first time.
Okay, we'll look into the other incidences and we'll talk to her. And like we said, he's going to document this report. And if we have other reports that lead up to
Well,
this,
I mean, how many?
we might submit charges to the DA.
If a crime, how many crimes have to repeat until you finally decide it? Well, now it's a real crime.
Well, we have to have some type of proof also. I mean, we're going off of what you're telling us, but we have to talk to her yet too. And then, like I said, if there was some type of injuries that occurred, that would definitely be enough proof for us to go and charge it out right now. But without that, it's kind of like a he said, she said type of thing. Unless
Neglect now. What is neglect? Psychological injuries. Where do you draw your line there?
it all depends
Psychological
on the
torture.
circumstances.
How do you decide that?
It all depends on the circumstances and what
Yeah.
type of proof there is.
All right. Yeah.
So every circumstance is different, and then proof of neglect is definitely the most important thing. Like, we could go talk to her and she could say that, yeah, he was being an asshole to me and I
Yeah.
did it on purpose. Her saying
Well, I have a
something
video
like
of
that.
I have a video of her coming in here, plugging that in, and I'm
Uh-huh.
explaining to her. I just pissed my diaper, and
Mhm.
she doesn't care. She just continues walking.
Okay.
She
Have
says,
you
"I
been-
changed her
Have you been
diaper."
rude to her in the past?
Pardon?
Have you been rude to her in the past?
Have I been what?
Rude,
No,
disrespectful.
no,
No?
not at all.
Okay.
Well, they will say that, of course.
Okay.
They justify everything by disrespect. They'll say,
Okay.
you know.
Okay, so we have to take all of that into consideration when we write the report, and then make the determination on whether we're going to submit charges to the DA or not. We have to take consideration of all your past reports, this current report. what
Really,
they're-
you'll
what-
take all
what they're
my
saying.
past reports.
We have to look at those, yes, before we make a
That's
determination
wonderful.
on whether we're going to submit charges.
Because he's never once got back to me.
Okay. Well, I have never been out here personally,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it all depends. I mean, the other
I guess I
deputies,
didn't
the other
come
deputies
to
must
the
have read through the
reach-
reports.
Pardon?
The other deputies that have been out here must have read through the reports and determined that there was not enough here to submit charges.
Yeah.
Okay?
Who was that again?
Other deputies,
Yeah.
not myself. I've never met you before.
Yeah, I never get the. That's why I'm curious about this report. I never get the report.
He's going to give you a complaint number.
Yeah,
for
I
it
have
right now.
I have issues with this because it's a. I guess I have to pay for it or something.
No, you have to call down to the law enforcement center and someone has to go down there and get a copy of it for you, or they can mail it out if you can't.
I
make
was
it
going to
down there.
read it on here. I think that was the idea. I was going to read it on my computer.
Okay, I don't know if they'll mail it to you. I'm not sure. Like email it to you. I don't know if they'll email it to you. I think you might have.
Well, I
to.
think I was going to give some like a case number or something.
Yeah, the case number is
Yep.
right on that card.
All right, and then somehow I get into your system and
Well, the case number, you'd have to call down there, and they might be able to email it to you. I'm not sure. I know everybody else has been going down there picking them up in person, like a printout, but our records may have changed to where they can email it to you. I don't know if that's something that can happen now. But when you call down there, they can tell you because they know all the policies in the records department.
all right.
Okay?
All right. Well, no, I want you to understand. She came in here to change my diaper. We were doing real well until she so I know she didn't do it intentionally.
Okay.
It wasn't intentional, but I said, would you be more cautious of what you're doing? And she became offended by that. She was offended by, well, I said, would you be more cautious? And she
Okay.
became offended.
Well, we'll go speak with her too, so hopefully we can avoid this in the future.
I'm sorry.
We'll speak with her too.
Small things like this happens a lot.
Okay.
A lot. They get offended by the smallest microaggressions, I guess they call them now. Maybe you can ask her why she left. Why she left this over there out of my reach. She came in there. I said I peed and shit myself again, and why she wouldn't change me again. Would you ask her why she wouldn't change me again?
I can ask. Yep.
Yeah.
So.
And why she left? Why she left this over there and I'm not covered? Why was it necessary to?
We'll go talk to her. Okay. But hang on to that card because that's your complaint number. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And would you? I don't know how this works. Do I get to hear her story? How does that work?
That'll be in the report. That will be in the report. Her story will be in the report.
All right.
Okay?
There should be a nurse. Why wasn't the nurse ever brought in here? Where's the nurse in all of this?
Oh, they might be a little short-staffed.
They're always short staffed. But there should be a nurse here.
You're the second person to tell me that in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But we'll go talk with her, okay?
All right. And you're gonna write this report out, and then can I find this report? Can I hack into? I can't find another better word for it.
No,
Can I
you have
hack
to,
into
you
it?
have to call down to the records department, Racine County Records.
The number is on the front. You can call and ask for records.
Okay.
Okay, and then when you talk to someone in the records department, you can ask them if they can email it to you, and if not, then you're gonna have to go down there and get it, or send
Well, you
somebody.
see, I
to
can't get
it.
down there.
Well, tell them that on the phone, and maybe they'll email it to you. Okay.
Or they might be able to mail it too.
Yeah, they might
through
be able
the
to mail it through the mail also.
Because you can get mail here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that might be a route as well.
All right.
All right, we'll go talk with her.
I appreciate you guys coming out here so quickly.
Yep.
Thank you.